Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Definitely glad to see you again. Yo, look, this channel is growing. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, hopefully by the summertime, depending on how you guys cook on this. So look, if you are not already subscribed, please do as I go through the video. If you enjoy the content, please hit the like button. All right, y'all, let's go. All right, so today I'm doing a microphone review. The folks over at FiFine sent me the Amplitank Tank 3. There we go. Microphone to review. So we'll do a quick unboxing. We'll go over the specs on this thing and do some tests to see how this microphone sounds. All right, so the FiFine Amplitank Tank 3 comes shipped in this nice little brown box you see here. Get inside. Standard Tank 3 user guide. The folding kind. Here is the microphone. Has some decent weight to it. All metal construction. Right on the top, there is a mute button. If I turn to the side, this is the headphone monitor adjustment knob, volume knob. As well as here is the mic volume adjustment knob. Already comes on a nice mic swivel for you. Below you can see in your XLR connection, USB-C connection, and your headphone monitor output. Aside from that, anything else in the box? Here is your USB-C to USB-A cable. The specs read that this is about 9 feet long. Outside of that, there is nothing left in the box. The foam that it's coming in is very sturdy. Make sure that, as the microphone is shipping, that it stays in good condition. All right, I'm gonna connect this up and let's see what it sounds like. So it does come threaded in both 3/8 and 5/8. The 3/8 is kind of far back in there. So I am attaching this nice little adapter on the top of my stand to mount it. All right, so I have the Tank 3 mounted and plugged in. Right now you are hearing this through the XLR cable. This is not the USB-C. Again, you're listening to this through the XLR cable. I have no processing on this. It is plugged in directly to my Roland VR1 HD. There is no compression, there is no EQ. This is simply the microphone plugged in directly to the unit, and the volume is turned all the way up on the fader on the unit right now. All right, so this is what the Tank 3 sounds like with effects applied. I have increased the head amp gain by 14 dB. I've added some compression. I have not added an EQ to this, and I haven't added a noise gate. This is me talking to the microphone from a right angle. Again, this is me talking into the Tank 3 from the diaphragm facing to the right. This is me talking into the Tank 3 with the diaphragm facing to the left. Again, this is me talking into the Tank 3 microphone with the diaphragm facing to the left. This is me talking into the Tank 3 microphone with the diaphragm facing away from me completely. I am now talking into the back of the mic. This is me once again talking into the Tank 3 microphone with the capsule facing directly away from me. All right, for comparison purposes, I'm going to toggle between talking through the Tank 3 and the Rode Podmic. So to make this a fair test, I've simply copied the compression settings, the gate settings, the EQ curve, and the high pass filter that I had on the Podmic and applied it to the Tank 3. There was a difference in the gain, so to try to match the volumes, I have increased the head amp gain on the Tank 3. Right now I have the head amp gain at about 57 dB on the Tank 3, whereas on the Rode Podmic, I've increased the head amp gain to about 26 dB. All right, now I'm talking through the Rode Podmic. This is again with the head amp gain set to 26 dB. The gain on the Tank 3 is at 57. This is again me now talking through the Rode Podmic. Again, I have compression set, I have the noise gate set, as well as a high pass filter and an EQ curve applied to this microphone. Now I'm going to switch back to the Tank 3. And this is me talking once again on the Tank 3. As you see, I have again tried to match the volume just so that you can have a real life comparison of what this microphone sounds like on my voice as if I were talking to the, again, a regular standard YouTube video in comparison to the Rode Podmic, which I'm typically talking on. Again, this is the Tank 3. And again, this is the Rode Podmic. The Rode Podmic and the Tank 3. All right, so now we're testing out the microphone utilizing the USB-C cable. I will have to say that it is sounding very well, actually. I'm quite impressed with how it sounds. As you see, as I'm talking, there are some plosives as it's coming in. Plosives. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Plosive, plosive, plosive. So there are plosives there. I'll try to turn it a little bit so that it's not directly picking up all of the plosives, and move it back a little bit. But this is coming in utilizing the USB-C cable. Again, in this case, now this is where the features on the top come into play. If I turn down the input gain here, now you should hear the volume reduce as I turn this down. So I'm turning the volume down on the input gain from here, and you see now that the volume is going down. Turning the volume back up gradually, slowly turning the volume back up. Turning the volume back up now so that you can appropriately hear me coming in, utilizing the input gain on the side of the microphone. So the features for the input gain work very well when you're coming in utilizing USB-C on this microphone. I have my headphones directly plugged in to the headphone monitoring. It sounds pretty good. I'm quite impressed with how this is sounding, especially on my voice. And again, in this case, since it is going in directly through USB-C, I don't have any processing applied on this. It's going directly into the recording software. There's no noise gate turned on this. There is no EQ curve. This is what it sounds like utilizing the USB-C cable connection coming straight in. Now again, in this case, utilizing the mute button at the top, if I click mute, I am muted. Now you hear me. So it's a nice feature. Boom, you just hit the mute button, shuts everything else off utilizing USB-C. Again, these features are not applied if you're going in through XLR, but for a USB-C microphone, I think this sounds actually really good. Noise floor, again on the USB-C. And actually, let me turn the volume up all the way on the microphone. So this is with the volume cranked all the way up, noise floor. Turn it back down a little bit. I think this is pretty good, actually. I'm quite impressed. Now, just for additional test purposes, I do have a pop filter here laying around. I will put that over the microphone just to see how well an additional pop filter does with the plosives on this. So let's just mute this. All right, so the pop filter is now applied. that really did help a lot with the plosives just by adding that additional pop filter. And with this on, it doesn't look too bad either. I think it's a pretty decent looking microphone. That pop filter kind of helps, again, significantly with the plosives, and it still sounds pretty good. All right, so the moment of truth. This is typically a $79 microphone. However, right now on Amazon, they are providing a big spring deal so that you can actually get this microphone for $63.99 as of the time of this video. Now, I did the comparison with the Podmic because right now the Podmic is at $99. I think that if you're looking for an introductory dynamic microphone, that you're looking for having the option of either going through USB-C or XLR, this is a great price. I believe I've seen that the spring deals are lasting until the end of the month. So again, at the time of this video, you can pick this up for $63, 64 bucks. All right, so in summary, I think the FiFine here is a really decent microphone. I liked how it sounded, especially on the XLR, how it was, really not throwing the floor noise out there. It sounded pretty good without me having to add any noise gate or anything on it. Again, at the time of this video, you can pick the microphone up for $63.99. There is a spring deal on Amazon. If you found this video at all helpful, I would appreciate it if you want to hit that like button. Again, I'm trying to get my subscribers up to 1,000 before the summertime. So if you have not already subscribed, please do. Again, I appreciate you guys, and until the next video, peace.